So I just picked few cases. The first one is very funny and very short and very simple, but I thought, well, let's have it. So this is a female. She's very, very fit, going to the gym, and it was her husband who comes to me who wanted to come for bioresonance, but because he had epilepsy a very long time ago, very long time, when he used to be young Irish drinker, and after some party he went into epilepsy. And I asked Pendulum whether I could treat him on SI, and it said no. So I said to him no, that I won't take you, but I can do something else. I'm doing Biara for him, he's very happy. And he brought his wife, because he said that she has this sound, she calls it glue sound, she said glue in her ear for a year, and it's upsetting her, so maybe I can help. Of course, we don't have an idea what we are going to do. So I've done an analysis, and you know, being 66 and having express monitoring almost 90, she is fit, she's great, nothing wrong. All the meridians, 84, 5, 6, you know, just super. No bacteria as such, you know, really few, just super healthy person. Why there is glue in her head? So I looked at cochlea and obviously found some fungi, aflatoxins and fungicides. So I said, and cadmium, so I said, well, it's very interesting. It's high coefficient, I understand that, but you know, there was something there. And we sat there and I said, why would you have something in your ears? You know, it's interesting, isn't it? Everything is clear. Maybe a lymphatic gland is clear and she has it in the ears. So the husband said to her, but surely your mother all her life had a problem with ears. And she said, oh yes, my mother. So there's a hereditary kind of already example, a weakness. And he said to her, but surely you spray roses in the garden. Didn't you start spraying roses? You spray everything in the garden. And I told you to wear a mask. You never wear a mask. And she looked at him and she said, you know, you're right. I didn't wear a mask. And she inhaled the whole thing. And of course, this being a weak organ, I thought it was just amazing, you know, that she just had that. So what I've done is the F1 is, well, no, F1 is what's shown on the previous one. So F1 was 6, 2, 7, and 5, right? But I always ask my pendulum, what would it be best to treat? So I treated high immunity and went into both auditory and cochlea. Cranial nerve came up, one of them was had a blue mark, and brain vessels, exactly what I've done, more or less, and gave her one session. And she reported 2 days later saying that the glue sound has stopped completely, but she developed sinus, which was very interesting. Really high temperature, so the husband said to me, can you do something? So I asked my faithful pendulum, and it said she doesn't need to come. I can just radionically send her some. And I did. But you see, this is exactly what I've done. Eliminate TB, acute, and stellar miasms. And this goes with sort of like writing with a number on it. I gave light, because if you take miasm in radionic, if you take energy, you have to put something in. So I put light, which is 100.777. Give also tuberculinium, and there is a book, a fantastic book of Swami remedies. It's two big books, and they have specific numbers because it has to be in the matrix. Whatever we use in radionic, many people should use it, and it has a value in the matrices. So they put, like, for example, BR, sort of balance number 1, 2, 3, but they consist of a number of homeopathic mixtures. So it's enough that I go on the list and the pendulum will say, okay, BR7, whatever it is, So I gave her, and it calls drawing pills. I have no idea what it means, but I've sent her this once, and I've sent him a text saying, I don't know how she will feel tomorrow, but I just sent a treatment. And that was the feedback. Minor miracle, good recovery, no temperature and no drugs. You know? So it's just, you know, like Elizabeth says,
black box principle.
Yeah, it's just super, isn't it? But it has to be, somebody gave me this book, I didn't know about it at first, but anything we do, we have to create matrix. You know, like there is this famous movement, matrix energetic. They want as more people as possible to use, because we have an impact on this massive cloud that we are feeding all the time. Another one was very interesting, a very young female, 18-year-old. Her father brought it to me because he is my yoga student. Very tired. For 6 months she's just lying down, doing absolutely nothing. She's just finishing her A-levels, going to university, such an important time. And she has no energy at all, not even wanting to go out for a walk. Painful menses, sensitive to light and sound. So immediately I think of ethers, isn't it, that we are made of. Burping constantly and pain in the back and lumbar. So again, just express monitoring 81, not small, but she's 18. But abdomen was right down, the meridian, 68. And I always check the gastric gland, and it was working at 3% in an 18-year-old you know, girl, which is small. So F1 showed 7, 1, 5, and 2. 1 was actually for skin. She had developed skin problems. So lots of bacteria, viruses, and candida, of course, creating candida. And of course she was eating chocolate because she felt she needed to eat it. So that I use pendulum always along that line, and I see what is really needed. I developed this sort of habit, but I'm not so sure whether I should continue or not. This is the question of developing myself, I suppose. I have this sort of inner asking myself whether I should just feel it or I should use pendulum. But so I've done, of course, immune system. This is obvious. Mm-hmm. I've done cleansing of kidneys. It's obvious, isn't it? And then on the 7th, of course, because she had pain, period problems, so there were some hormones to be. But I felt, right sitting next to her, that I'm missing something big time. You know, you just feel like putting your hand on the stomach thinking, I haven't got it. So I said to her and her father that I'll do radionic analysis. I don't know, I brought it here because it's very interesting. I don't know whether you want to sort of pass it on. This is radionic analysis, which is consisting of subtle bodies, because we must know what the subtle bodies are doing. Then we have the first etheric layer, the physical, so we have the 4 ethers, so we have the number 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have the gaseous, liquid, and dense ether. So that's the 7 structures in the first physical. Then we have chakras, and these are the chakras. We have splenic triangle because that's very important as well. And within the chakras, you can see that point sticking out. It is minus 70 of the solar plexus. So obviously something is wrong with digestion. I knew because gastric gland was 3, but I wanted to know exactly why. So I like to help myself with no other pages ready because yeah. So I done that, and then with radionics I was able to ask. So first thing is a lifestyle, diet, illness. No illness as such, you know. So it was diet. And I said to her, you know, what are you eating? And the father answered, she said, oh, I don't know, she's going crazy, she's abandoned normal food, she's now only on salads and she wants to be vegan and she's eating all the raw food. And as she said it, my whole abdomen went, no. So I said to her, you know, I'm going to check it, but I suggest that maybe you change diet. And it was only because of diet. There was nothing else wrong with her. She is Vata, even early age, because we go into Vata in our elderly age. I'm Vata now. But for some reason, because not eating what her system could digest, she became Vata. So hence the dry skin, dry everything, drying, hair drying. And Vata, it sits in intestines. So obviously raw food, we haven't got the Agni to digest, we haven't got the fire. So I said to the father, and the fantastic parents she has, and I said to the father, well, may I suggest to cook everything? No raw apples, but stewed apples. No raw, no smoothies, not even one. Give it a time, maybe 4 weeks or so, or 3 weeks. And the father said they would do it, and they did do it. So when she came, it was just absolutely diet. Nothing, there was nothing wrong with her. So, and the chakra, the solar plexus was blocked at 45 degrees, and it was blocked on exit. So you have chakra, the energy is coming like that into the body, isn't it? We have primary energy coming. I'm sure you all know it, but I just sort of made a copy. Primary energy is coming through these 7 layers, whatever layers we agree we have in our subtle bodies. And the subtle bodies have to be not only clean themselves, but the coordination between them also has to be appropriate. If there is no coordination, then the energy gets stuck. So when we have chakra blocked on exit, so that means there is a blockage between astral and etheric. If the chakra is blocked on exit, it is between etheric and physical. So we are then talking of this system of nadis that is not working at all, right? I'm sure you've seen it. So the nadis are not working. So, you know, she is not feeding her physical with energy. Food was aggravating everything. Anyway, the food just created this reaction to be visible faster. Otherwise, whatever was sitting in her subtle bodies, and I truly believe that, that's why I'm so happy with Areola, and I will use it, definitely use it, that we become ill, obviously we become ill from here in, rather than from the other way, you know. So that's what I've done. We've changed the diet, and she came, whatever I've done on SI, of course I've done, but I did radionically a little bit more to lift the solar plexus chakra, to restore the whole polarity of the body. It's a wonderful rate, 44110 dot, and you send this rate to someone who is, for example, has vertigo. So someone can have vertigo, you send that number, and within 20 minutes it's fine. It's just an amazing, you know, way, because radionic is used for a long time, so the whole world is saturated with the rays. And normalizing solar plexus chakra, spleen chakra, because it's very important, and repairing the aura, and normalizing the ethers. So warmth, light, chemical, and life ether. Life ether was, as you saw in the drawing, a little bit out. And she was fine. That's all I did. 1 SI session, 1 radionic session, and the next biorhythm. She came after 10 days. Everything was absolutely back to normal. Totally, absolutely. There was nothing, not one dark spot on her GI system. So, you know, I probably would have achieved it somehow with the SI, but I don't know how soon would it be, because by changing diet, the output into the aura from the healthy, you know, gastric glands and stomach would have created changes from in out, but I don't know how long could it be. But In this case, I have used radionics and